So, let's see if I still remember something from my student days when I experimented with acting as a supporting actor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the gentleman. What would you like?
I was just passing by. You know, I'm only stopping by this city, meeting an old friend in Valencia, a rich aristocrat. You must have heard of him, Don Diego de Mora y Aragon.
Oh, Don Diego is an enormous authority among antique collectors. So you are his good friend. What an honor.
Well, yes.
If I'm not mistaken, you are an English gentleman?
Indeed. I've arrived from London. My name is Hunt, Samuel Hunt. I am a collector as well. Although I did not plan to buy in the city of Toledo, but it so happens my associate has been feeling unwell, and I thought I should not let the opportunity to buy something beautiful for my collection pass me by. Someone recommended you.
Oh, such an honor, Mr. Hunt. I'm pleased to offer my services. If you also need accommodation, I can offer one of the guest rooms of my humble home.
Thank you, Mr. Arriaga, but I already have accommodation. You know, the local policeman was so kind as to...
So you are staying at the Hotel Mayoral. A very pleasant place. Sergeant Riollos' uncle is the owner.
Indeed. I would like to have a look around your shop, if I may.
Oh, all this junk won't suit your tastes. However, I have some treasures which I have been keeping exactly for customers with such high standards as you have, Mr. Hunt.
So you know my taste.
Look, an English gentleman who is Don Diego's friend would be more satisfied with something special than with a gaudy piece of junk.
You've sparked my interest, Mr. Arriaga. Are you talking about very special goods?
You know, some of them are so special that many people are searching for them, even the authorities. If you know what I mean, Mr. Hunt.
Gee, I understand what you're getting at. I think you must have an exciting collection. We could have a look at it presently.
Well, if possible, I would not like to be hasty about it. You know, these are really delicate cases. Please, don't be offended. Although it is far from me to suppose that you are not what you have claimed yourself to be.
Perhaps you're asking me to identify myself.
No, for heaven's sake, Mr. Hunt, we all carry secrets which we should not make public. But money has no scent. So if I'm not offending you, I would like to see that you are able to pay, Mr. Hunt.
Well, you have surprising methods, but I understand. Naturally, I have no considerable amount on me.
No problem, sir. Please, return any time, even at night, when you can prove that your intentions are serious, and I promise to show you paradise.
All right.
And of course, I'm counting on your full confidentiality.
Naturally. Come to think of it, since I did not plan on this trip, I am not carrying cash with me. I would urgently need some money to spend. Are you perhaps interested in stamps as well?
You are at the best place, Mr. Hunt. I'm the only antique dealer in the neighborhood who is also an expert in stamps. I might help.
This is an old Spanish stamp. You must be familiar with it. It is not of small value.
Oh, a light blue $1 stamp from the middle of the last century. Well, you really seem to be a connoisseur.
Would you buy it from me?
Yes, I think so. By all means. I am prepared to pay at least 1,000, even 1,200 pesetas.
Did you say 1,700?
I said 1,500. But due to the prospect of your future purchase, Mr. Hunt...
Great, I was thinking of 1,600 as well. It's a deal.
Well, yes. All right, 1,600 pesetas, because you're a real gentleman.
I knew we'd managed to reach an agreement. You know, Mr. Arriaga, as a stranger I feel somewhat lost hereabouts. I have made acquaintances with some people today. I feel that your way of thinking is rather similar to mine. Would you be so kind as to give me some information about these people?
I don't know if I know them, but I'd be glad to help you. So you have heard about it, Mr. Hunt. Unfortunate case. I am sorry. I don't know any details. And I'm not interested. The criminal is behind bars and will soon have his due punishment.
It is said that the sword has not been found.
Really? I don't know about it. How should I know?
They also say it is a pretty sword. Perhaps exactly Juan Candalas's work.
Yes, I had the opportunity to see it in the owner's house, but unfortunately I didn't observe it thoroughly enough.
That was a mistake, given what a meticulous expert you are, Mr. Arriaga.
Oh, so you have made the acquaintance of the most beautiful angel of the area. A really kind person, although we are only on greeting terms. And lucky too. It is said that she will soon marry the well-to-do Eugenio Garcia de la Rica, a young man who has a serious political career ahead of him. It's a pity you cannot meet Salvador, the painter. He has died recently. I'm sure you would have found common interests. You know, he lived in England for a long time. He visited noble society. There is a rumor that his daughter's mother was a noble woman. Although, you know, there is so much gossip in a small city like this. But it would be a mistake to believe everything one hears. You've heard about the young blacksmith. Everyone says he is a blessed young man. But have they also mentioned that he is in prison right now? Because he stole from his employer, a rich man? Well, the coin has two sides, Mr. Hunt. One cannot choose one's neighbors, Mr. Hunt. Especially my fellow poor and modest people are burdened by this curse. Although there used to be a time when that woman respected me, she has not bothered to even greet me for 3 years now. Despite the fact that I swear I haven't done anything wrong. I was selling their work too, but the family blamed me for not being able to sell their swords and daggers. The interest has simply decreased. He was the last descendant of the famous swordsmith family, renowned for their sword craftsmanship. Unfortunately, there was less and less demand for his works. Unlike his father's, Juan Candela's works are well known by collectors all over the world. Maybe you have heard of them, Mr. Hunt. They called him the Blade Master. He was a real artist. God bless him. After his death, the weapons he made became even more expensive. Alonso's palace is on La Mancha Square. He's an excellent man, influential, authoritative, and moreover, he has a sense of artistic objects. He buys a lot from me, a man with a very good taste. I was afraid he would move away for a longer time because there was a rumor that he would be ambassador to a country in South America. However, the plan fell through for some reason. Nowadays, his son, Eugenio, has similar plans. Mr. Alonso's butler, he comes from France. He has a real poker face. You could easily imagine he is hiding something or is running from his past. Stay clear of him, Mr. Hunt. The policeman? Well, I haven't had much business with him. Thank God. I think he is the kind of character that God created precisely to be a policeman. Who? Domingo? I don't know him.
Thank you for your kindness, Mr. Arriaga. As I have promised, I will soon return, and we will talk about the details of the purchase.
May we have the pleasure, Mr. Hunt? See you later.
Oh, the door is open. Perhaps Hugo won't be angry if I simply enter the garden. Hugo? This garden is very pretty and fits this rich palace. You can't deny that this butler knows how to live.
Hugo, I have good news. I managed to make a deal with the arts dealer. I sold your stamp.
Oh, really? Well, I am very grateful for you, Professor. May I ask how much you got for it?
You wanted to have 1,500 for it, didn't you? Well, I brought you that amount.
You are an excellent businessman, Mr. Hunt. Thank you. Thank you. And now I will give you what I promised. Here you are. The permission in Mr. Alonso's abrupt style. The sergeant won't doubt it was written by the master.
Are you certain that the writing is sufficiently similar?
I am? How shall I say? It's not the first time that I have used this ability of mine, sir.
I believe I understand.
I hope it is successful. And one more thing. The book. You asked for the book I found the stamp in. Here you are. It's yours. Tell me if it is of any use to you. Although I wouldn't be the one to help you when you want to buy a vineyard in the La Mancha region.
Thank you very much indeed, Hugo.
The merchant is a sly criminal. A mean man is hiding behind his false modesty. They say his friends are from the underworld. Armed guards watch his sleep at night. Of course, you know the town gossip. But be careful nevertheless, Professor. If you allow me to suggest, always take his words with a grain of salt.
Look, they aren't gone yet? All right, Professor. It will be as Mr. Alonso requested. You can talk to that blacksmith's assistant whenever you wish to. That is, as long as he is there, because once they come for him from Madrid, this paper will be of no use. Go ahead. The corridor door is open. What I think of the dealer? Do you know that we have had anonymous reports from here and there that strange people come to visit him, and he has connections in the criminal underworld? But I must say, I keep an eye on him, and I haven't caught him in any misconduct. And then you cannot just hold somebody responsible because of who he is friends with. It is easy to believe the town gossip, but where is the proof? You understand? The proof. That's what's missing in these cases. Tangible proof.
Like in the case of Francisco Candelas.
Yes. No, that is an entirely different case. But if there were proof there, maybe it would be a different situation. The French butler is a lord among the lords. I tell you, Professor, he holds his nose so high up, it's as if he weren't serving Mr. Alonso, but vice versa. Mr. Alonso, whom I respect deeply for his achievements, knowledge, and birth, once told me what he thinks of sin. He said that it is poverty that breeds sin in people, need and despair, and it is always the rich who are abused then. Very wise thoughts. I have come to see more clearly since then. I keep one eye on the poor and the other on the rich. You always have to protect those more who have more to lose, right, Professor?
Well...
Believe me, such wisdom is worth more than an excellent cigar. And I really like cigars, you know?
Would you allow me to ask some more questions?
Of course, but don't expect gossip from me. A policeman never spreads gossip. I knew Carlos Candelas. He used to be a swordsmith like his grandfather, and great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather, and his son too. Decent family. This is a big shame for old Carlos. Widow of Candelas. Yes, I must have seen her, because I know everyone in the neighborhood, but especially those with whom I've had trouble. I don't know Isabel Candelas very well. Hey, what a pretty big lass came of that little girl with the braided hair. How could I not know her? On a cloudy day, it would be enough for her to walk down the square, and glimmering brightness would fill even the darkest dungeon. Once she happened to say, "I'm a handsome, decent man." True, it could have been 5 years ago by now. I had no trouble with that painter, but I must tell you frankly, I was always suspicious of him. And I have a nose that never fails. That man was hiding some secret. But now we will never know what it was. Of course, there's no mistake about it. Someone who lives for a long time abroad and then returns suddenly with a child and without a mother. It is unavoidable the talk about him. Oh, Mr. Alonso is a highly respected, noble man. He's very influential, an eminent politician. He traveled around the country for a long time. He knows everyone. He leads a quiet and calm life, has a luxurious home, but he hasn't been leading much of a household since the death of his wife. As far as I know, his son is preparing to be a politician or a lawyer. What did that mischievous fellow do again? Just tell me, and I'll break my truncheon on his back.